Hey everybody, this is Rob Wilson with Performance Therapeutics and Prepare to Perform. I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit today about our wrist series, super important small joints that get super beat up and that people largely ignore when they're doing training or mobility or recovery. But this is your link to everything you have to grab onto. Wrist series like this are super important, one for barbell athletes because we're gripping all the time. And one thing we don't realize is that all this tissue in our forearms gets super stiff, and then when we try to keep our overhead position locked out and nice and tight, the tissue that passes over the elbow and then shares fascial connections above the elbow, when that stuff gets stiff and tight, it really starts to affect your receiving position, especially if you're a barbell athlete. Additionally, if you're a combat sports athlete, gripping all the time or constantly having a closed fist also gets these tissues really stiff. And then when you need to have your hands open, it can be a little bit of a problem. And then also, we're so much technology now, we're always typing, texting, our hands get super tight. And then of course, when we need them to do something different, the capacity is just not there. So very, very simple, we're gonna start out with. All right, so the first position is we're gonna spread our hands open as much as we possibly can. Fingertips pointing forward, so your middle finger is pointing straight ahead, and then elbows are locked. And what we want, turn this way for a second, so my hands are flat and spread. I want the pit of my elbow to be facing forward and locked out. All right, so when I rotate this way, my shoulders are in a good position, and the pit of my arm is locked out. You can see that makes my tricep really active. Locking out here, and then I can start just by rocking forward and back. Being nice and active here. I can rock side to side, but it's good to have some movement. If you find a direction that really pisses your wrists off a little bit, you can kind of hang out there, but don't force it, all right? So we're just moving around. You can bring the heels of your palms up off the ground, and then back down. So first we're working on wrist extension in this position. Second position is to turn the hands around as much as you can and have fingertips pointing back towards you. Notice I don't let my shoulders drop forward, keeping them back in the socket. And now I'm just leaning back, getting my shoulders behind my wrists, rocking side to side here, forward and back, side to side. Same idea, I can roll up onto my fingertips and back and forth, all right? At first, those positions are really brutal, so take it easy on yourself, okay? Third position is in flexion, so the backs of my hands are on the ground, elbows are locked in the same position, and now I'm rocking side to side here. I can also rock front to back. If I find one area is more stiff, then I can hang back there and rock. I can make fists here and really put some extra spice on it. That's actually a little bit harder than you might think, all right? So now we're in wrist flexion, working on this position. And then our last position is what we call ulnar deviation, which is the ability basically for your pinky to go towards your ulna, right? And that's a normal range for a human being. So now I'm making a fist. I'm pointing my fist like this. So I'm bringing my pinky closer to my forearm, or my ulna more specifically. And then I'm putting that little circle, that little donut that my thumb and my index finger make. That goes on the ground, and my elbows lock out. And then I'm just allowing the weight of my torso to sink in. A lot of times when people are newer at this, this is the one they really, really feel. Now you can kind of graduate. So right now I'm in kind of a tabletop with all these positions, and that's about the least amount of pressure that you can have. From here we can go to sort of into like a half plank where I'm still on my knees, but I'm taking a little bit more weight. And then eventually, very far down the road, You can be in a complete plank position and support yourself, no problem. But it does take quite a bit of time and exposure for the ligaments and the bones to build up that kind of tolerance to those positions. So please be very, very careful. Put your ego aside, let it open up. But right now I have all this beautiful blood flowing through my wrists and my hands, and it feels like 5 minutes ago they were dead. So have fun with that, and enjoy that as a new part of your practice.